There was this contempt hearing, you see, that they were holding on Capitol Hill. And Hunter was required to be there, but he said he wasn't going to show up. He tried to go by Zoom. That wasn't going to fly. And they're like, we're going to hold you in contempt. So then all of a sudden he shows up at the contempt hearing, unannounced. He like crashes this hearing. And then he walked out. Let's start with this. Just watch him walking out. This is one of the highlights. We got a few highlights.
Gentlemen, time's expired. Chair recognizes Ms. Greene from Georgia for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently, you're afraid of my words.
Whoa! Oh!
I'd like to reclaim my time, Mr. Chairman.
Burst their bubble.
I mean, wow. So why bother going, buddy? Why bother going, right? Like, you walk in and then you walk out. And Marjorie Taylor Greene kind of calling him out on it, shall we say. Marjorie Taylor Greene, like, wait a second. Why am I? You don't want to answer my questions, buddy boy? There were a whole lot of moments. I want to go to this one. By the way, it didn't really make anyone look good, I'm just going to say, because it kind of like went down into the gutter like really fast. Here's Nancy Mace, and she gets into it with a few of them. Republican Congresswoman, take a look at this clip.
First of all, my first question is, who bribed Hunter Biden to be here today? That's my first question. Second question, you are the epitome of white privilege, coming into the Oversight Committee, spitting in our face, ignoring a congressional subpoena to be deposed. What are you afraid of? You have no balls to come up here and...
Mr. Chairman, point of inquiry.
Mr. Chairman...
If the gentle lady wants to hear from Hunter Biden, we can hear from him right now, Mr. Chairman. Let's take a vote and hear from Hunter Biden. What are you afraid of?
Hold on. Order.
Are women allowed to speak in here or no? Are women allowed to speak in here or no? Could you keep interrupting me?
I'll interrupt the chairman. I don't know that he's a lady.
I think that that Hunter Biden should be arrested right here, right now, and go straight to jail. Our nation is founded on the rule of law.
Come on.
And the premise that the law applies equally to everyone, no matter what your last...
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
You know, and it got wild from there. I mean, this whole thing was just a you-know-what show, which is basically what the country is right now. I mean, let's be honest. This is rather emblematic in many ways, right, of where we are as a nation. And by the way, what the heck is the deal with the Republicans? I mean, why haven't they arrested the guy? Why haven't they come forward with more? Why haven't they actually launched a full-on impeachment? Why aren't they actually willing to try the president for some of these alleged crimes? I mean, I've looked at the documents. I've looked at all the financial documents, and I think there's enough there that you ought to be asking more questions, and you ought to be able to hear the truth, both from Hunter and the president of the United States himself. I don't need to remind you all, but hey, it's kind of awkward and kind of weird that Hunter Biden, whose only claim to fame was getting tossed from the military because of his addiction issues, suddenly gets an $83,000 a month job on the board of a natural gas company called Burisma out of Ukraine, while daddy is vice president. While simultaneously, that very company that's hired the kid, he's not a kid, right? He's older than me, by the way. He is not a kid. The kid gets this job, $83K a month, along with his associate, Devin Archer, also $83K a month. Neither of them deserved this. And that company happens to want Victor Shokin, who was then the investigator, the government investigator who's digging around into Burisma, which is now a totally defunct energy company. They want him fired because they don't want him digging around. And sure enough, Joe Biden did it. He got the job done. He told them, hey, you're not going to get the billions of dollars worth of aid unless you fire the prosecutor whom he accused of being on the take. You know, just so we remember why this is all a problem. And then there's a whole lot of other stuff. I mean, a whole lot of other stuff that's rather, like, frankly, just inappropriate to have to even be talking about, honestly. But I credit where credit's due. I got to show you this little compilation that was made by actually, I don't think it was I'm not sure who it was made actually by, but there's a few Fox clips because they had the pool camera there. And it was really quite something to see. I want you to see sort of the highlights, if you would, of this crazy, insane day. I think that this goes down in history as probably the craziest hearing of modern times. I mean, it was wild, right? It was ruckus. And like nobody's watching their language. And I'm like, are they going to start like fist fighting at some point? It was insane. And we get a few highlights. So take a look with me here.
Who bribed Hunter Biden to be here today? That's my first question. Second question, you are the epitome of white privilege, coming into the Oversight Committee, spitting in our face, ignoring a congressional subpoena to be deposed. What are you afraid of? You have no balls. I think that Hunter Biden should be arrested right here, right now, and go straight to jail.
The only folks that are afraid to hear from the witness with the American people watching are my friends on the other side of the aisle.
Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently you're afraid of my words.
Whoa. Oh.
I think it's clear and obvious for everyone watching this hearing today that Hunter Biden is terrified of strong, conservative Republican women.
Are pornographic photos allowed to be displayed in this committee room, Mr. Chairman?
It's not pornography.
Okay, well, you're the expert.
I'm not an expert, Mr.
Whoa.
Regan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I feel like I'm in Alice in Wonderland after that.
Oh, look at the look on Comer's face. He's like, oh, did you catch that? What was it, Raskin? Little Raskin guy? I mean, like, really? Like, this is what it's come to. I mean, hey, like, this beats any soap opera on daytime television, ladies and gentlemen. Like, who needs entertainment when you got politicians like this?